The sound controller is an output or input-output peripheral that treats sound as information. It converts the digital signal to an analog signal as an output and the analog signal, sound, to a digital signal as an input. During playback, it reads the digital signal in the main memory through the CPU, sends it to its digital-to-analog converter with its own processor, synthesizer chip, at the specified frequency, and then outputs the processed sound through its amplifier to the connected speaker or connected amplifier and speaker. When recording, it sends audio information from the microphone or amplified audio information from the line input to its processor through the amplifier of its analog to digital converter, processes it, and then stores it in memory through the CPU. Some sound cards, e.g. Gravis Ultrasound, Sound Blaster AW3264, have their own memory, in which they put instruments and digitized sounds. CPU-independent direct memory storage and data transfer greatly improves sound quality and speeds up synthesis speed. Does not take up the processor, but if the card does not have enough memory, it cannot store the received instruments and sounds, so you can't play, record. There are two types of synthesizer chips, FM and wave. The FM synthesizer generates sounds from the sounds of stored instruments by modulating, converting, the frequency, combining sounds of different frequencies, and the wave synthesizer. The sound effects of a wave synthesizer card are more lifelike, but this requires a large number of recorded instruments. It plays unrecorded sounds with other instruments with similar properties, which can be false. Sound card quality is the number of channels, channel player and recorder resolution, while an 8-bit sound card decodes an audio signal to 256, a 16-bit card converts it to 65,536, mono or stereo effect, how many speakers it handles, recording bandwidth, a 22 kHz bandwidth card defines a sound interval of 22,000, and a 44 kHz card considers the sound interval to be 44,000. The human ear senses sounds between infrared and ultrasound, from 16 Hz to 20 kHz, theoretically. Digitized audio qualities are traditionally divided into three groups: telephone line quality, 11.025 kHz bandwidth, 8-bit resolution, mono sound effect; radio quality, 22.05 kHz bandwidth, 8-bit resolution, mono sound effect; and CD quality, 44.1 kHz bandwidth, 16-bit resolution, stereo sound effect. Storing an audio material, of course, takes up memory. How much, we can calculate ourselves. An uncompressed, 1-minute phone line quality, 11.025 kHz bandwidth, 8-bit mono recording takes up 650 KB of space. In stereo quality are double at 16 bits or 22.05 kHz, 1.3 MB. So a 1-minute CD quality, 44.1 kHz bandwidth, 16-bit stereo audio recording has a memory requirement of approx. 10.4 MB. From the obtained value, the data transfer rate, number of bits transferred in 1 second, can be calculated, which is 181,753 bits per second, 10.4 MB 60 sec, for CD quality. In addition to the input and output connectors on newer sound cards, you will find a MIDI gameport port to which you can connect a joystick or gamepad directly, or a MIDI controller and connect an electronic instrument to it. The MIDI, Musical Instruments Digital Interface, controller is an asynchronous serial port with a data rate of 31,250 bits per second. You can send commands between the connected instrument and the computer. In addition to the CD input connector for direct CD playback data, some sound cards also include a special CD-ROM controller. This played a major role before the standardization of CD-ROMs, when CD-ROMs of different types and interfaces were driven with separate control cards. There are also radio tuner sound cards and radio tuner cards that can be connected separately to the sound card, with which we are able to receive and tune radio broadcasts in a certain frequency range with the antenna connected to them. Sound cards must be inserted into the ISA or PCI slot, depending on their type. There is only one sound card to be connected to the parallel port. This is the coax resistor ladder. It is a relatively easy to play, playback-only sound card. The principle of the sound controller. Top is the sound play. Bottom is the sound record.